have been exploited by man and used as a justification for engaging in the very behaviors we have come to label as sinful. Throughout history, we have seen the destruction caused by faith misused as weapons, the varied interpretations of sacred texts used as justifications for some of the most painful and shameful acts of man. The human lust for power, control, land, and territory has damaged our relationship with higher knowledge and truth, religion continuing to be the weapon of choice within a human race in major need of a metaphysical timeout. Patsies in a war waged by radicals, even the seemingly most powerful have become sheep in an illusionary and dangerous downward spiral in consciousness and behavior. Left to human interpretation, faith and religion has been raped of the fundamental core, the essence of our common and unifying connection to one source, one power, and one mind. Our faiths, originally intended to heal, unify, and be a source of divine connection on a very sad and confused human plane, is competing with humankind's interpretations of religion. Religions and the war between them have become our last temptation as a human race. Instead, like warring children supposedly born of the same source, we continue to participate in a futile and devastating battle that is akin to siblings killing one another and using the favorite child argument to do so. Would God be proud of us? Would God be proud of what we have done on His behalf? If we are truly fashioned in the likeness and image of God, are we doing justice to the original creation and idea of faith and religion? Do we really believe that he who has the most points wins? Our continued conflicts point to a fundamental insanity that begs of us to take greater personal responsibility to heal and transform not so much our religious differences as much as our consciousness and characters. On some level, the shared insanity precludes us from aligning with what should be common sense, a shared responsibility to love one another, lead our lives from compassion and empathy, and hold sacred life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in ways that do not foster the belief that any one set of religious beliefs is any less or more important in the eyes of God. The fundamental issue and problem with using religion as justifications for acts born of the insatiable human need for power and control is that we engage in judgments that are not ours to make. As much as I consider myself to be a person of incredible faith, albeit one who looks to the teachings for unifying and universal principles, I find I am losing faith in my fellow brethren. I watch a human family steeped in the damage done by generations of dysfunction, greed, conflict, and spiritual immaturity, and I am both saddened and scared. On some level, if I am honest, I am ashamed. I am ashamed to be part of a human family that has so much hatred and contempt for one another. I am ashamed to see my brothers and sisters fighting for the love of a God who has birthed us all into existence. I am ashamed to be an American who seems to forget that our violent and destructive history was greatly justified by warriors for God. The land of the free truly being built on the backs of slaves and the stolen lands of an indigenous people who we almost successfully wiped out in Christian justified acts of genocide. Have we not learned anything? How many thousands of years, how many lives lost, how many abandoned children of our shared parent will it take for us to wake up and see that we have to, each of us, heal the resentments, anger, and unforgiveness that fuels fear and polarity in our own hearts? Worship has been converted to worship, surely an invention of man, not God. We must empty ourselves from the collective insanity and instead embrace the essence of faith and the consciousness of unity that is asking to be accepted into our hearts, minds, and souls of all beings on the planet on behalf of us all. Name-dropping God and religion, politicians and world leaders historically have taken the name of God in vain by claiming to seek victory over the taking of territory and land, or converting people to one faith or another. Historically, we must admit that this way of behaving has not worked out so well. In the United States, our past illegalization of indigenous practices of religion and worship, originally anything labeled as non-Christian, has resulted less in the glorification of our gods as much as it has wreaked havoc on an entire portion of the human race. We have suffered repeatedly from the alienation, denigration, and worse, the intentional homicide of brothers and sisters within the human family. Regardless of the focus of our worship, we can see that the evolving focus of our metaphysical weaponry has just simply shifted towards one perceived enemy or another. We have seen the focus of worship change from women, Native Americans, non-believers, pagans, heretics, and now infidels, whatever that means, according to one particular sect aligned with one set of non-serving beliefs. The roots of Christianity, once out of the hands of Jesus and the 12 disciples, led to millions of deaths and devastation during the Crusades. Cloaked in the commitment to save non-believers, early Christians justified murder and the taking of land, the Bible, and Holy Scripture as justification to behave in ways that were not in accordance with the Ten Commandments. On some level, man's interpretation of religion has always been used as justification for hypocrisy, exclusivity, and violence. As Gandhi said, any organization in its attempt to become exclusive will perish, and yet the practice continues. We continue to participate in dividing arguments that create polarity and conflict within a civilization clearly needing to accelerate major shifts in consciousness and behaviors. We need to lay down the weaponry of our beliefs and opinions and move beyond the dangerous and destructive paradigms that serve only to support the beliefs and actions of a painfully righteous, power-hungry, and fear-addicted culture. More insidious are the competing territories of our minds and hearts, ravaged by fear, righteousness, judgment, and unforgiveness, each enemy of the conscious mind taking up residence on the already unstable ground of our current shared, damaged, and ill-formed human consciousness. We must each agree to continue to move beyond the thinking that fosters the illusion that we are separate from one another.
Amen.
We must agree to be courageous of our exploration of truth, one that has largely remained hidden from humanity as a way to control and manipulate. Racial and religious reconciliation is only possible when we each join in taking responsibility for what we have created in the outpicturings of human civilization. Poverty, war, the raping of women and children, and religious and cultural genocide are evidence of our resistance and unwillingness to see ourselves as one. Inasmuch as we seek peace, the human quest for importance and validation is often sourced in fear, greed, self-protection, competition, and the tendency to finger-point and cast blame for the unsettled nature of our souls. He who gets the most wins, or he who is the most faithful gets into heaven, are mantras that have led us into the creation of a planet divided and damaged at the hands of illusionary thinking and religious righteousness. And if the definition of sin is missing the mark, we have certainly been guilty. It does not matter if the quest is for possession or power, saving souls or saving ourselves. The side effect on the human plane is separation from truth with a capital T. Our survival depends on us making peace with the past, ourselves, and the present, so that we may design a sustainable future and grow in our respect for one another.